Hi everybody. Today we're going to do our Noel banner, and there's going to be some supplies that you guys are going to need to get on your own. First thing I want you to get is a plastic bowl, medium to large size. Then you're going to need some Aleene's tacky glue. You're going to need to get some Novacon blackening patina. You can get that at any stained glass supply store. Some different size paint brushes, some clean cloths, rubber gloves, some jewelry pliers, some clear E6000 glue, and a paint color of your choice, acrylic paint. The banner that I've done was in a pale pink, and a silver metallic acrylic paint. And once you guys have all your supplies together and ready to go, we're going to start. Okay, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to get all of our brass and our jump rings. And I've taken some of the Novacon, probably about 1/4 of an inch into the bowl. You can put a little more, 1/2 inch. You don't need a lot. And I've poured it into my plastic bowl. Sorry. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put my brass into the Novacon. I'm going to start with the chain. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to move it around. Make sure you're wearing your rubber gloves. I'm going to move it around. It's going to get black fairly quickly. I don't want it to be too black, you know, and you can also leave these things. You don't have to blacken them. Once it reaches kind of the desired patina that I like, I'm going to take it and hold it over and let it drain for a minute. And I'm going to lay it down on a thick old towel so that it can kind of dry out. Then I'm going to take my eyes and my jump rings. Now, you don't have to do these. You can leave them the natural. And my bells. And I'm just going to roll those around in there too. You can tell this bowl gets a lot of use. Now the bells are going to have to go for a while. You know, another thing you can do with the bells, if you like, you can just cover them with glitter, with silver glitter. I think that the silver glass glitter, I've done some in the past. They look really neat when you just put them using your tacky glue over the gold bell, the brass, because when it starts to tarnish, and you can see the change, and it looks nice. I like them like that. I just didn't do them for this banner. But you can do anything you like. So when I take the bells out, I'm going to make sure that the openings are facing down, and I'm just going to lay them like that down on the cloth because I want them to drain. I'm going to take out my eyes and my jump rings. I'm going to let those sit for just a bit. Now, you can also use the blackening patina on your little glass ornaments that I've soldered for you. I left them silver because they will tarnish, and you can keep them like this, or you can take the end, holding on to them, and you can dip the end that's soldered into the blackening patina pretty quickly because it's going to blacken really quickly. And then dry them off pretty quick. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to go back with another cloth and we're going to clean these off. Dry them off really, really, really well. Your bells, you just want to let your bells sit for at least 24 hours, and you want to let them drain. Drain them on a piece of paper. Dry everything else off. Make sure they're good and dry. You've wiped off that blackening. Once they're good and dry, you're going to come back to them. But you're going to come back to them at the end anyway. Except for the eyes. We're going to use those pretty quick. Little Christmas balls. The chain, you want to make sure that you get all the blackening that you can off of your chain. Over and over and over. Just keep doing it over and over. You can also use rubbing alcohol, and you can clean it with rubbing alcohol as well. Still going to be blackened. Still going to look good. The key is to make it look gold. Unless, of course, you just want to leave it gold, and it's going to tarnish anyway. Okay, guys. We're going to let those sit, and then we're going to come back. Okay, everybody. Now we're going to start with our MDF letters. I'm going to show you in this tutorial using the O. You guys are going to do the same basic thing on all of your 4 letters. What I've done is I've taken my little eyes and I've screwed them in on the flat part on the O. You'll see that your O is a little bit lopsided, but that's okay. We want it to look like that. That's the font. So where you see this flat part in the top, probably just, you can eyeball it, but it's going to look great no matter what. I've gone about 1.5 inches, and I've just twisted them in. It's nice and soft. Now you can see it split a little. Don't even worry about that. It's not a big deal. We're going to glue over that and glass glitter it and paint it, so it doesn't even matter. So you're going to do this on the tops of all of your letters. Once you've done that, we're going to come back and we're going to paint. We don't have to paint the back because nobody's going to see it. You can if you'd like. But I'm going to paint the front of all of my letters in a pale pink like on the original sample. You can paint it any color you'd like. Then around the edges, and the inside edges, I'm going to paint them all silver. I'm going to do about 2 coats of each. So why don't you guys get started painting, and when they're all completely dry, we're going to come back and then we're going to start with our glittering. Okay, everyone. While your paint is drying, what I'd like you to do is get your little trees. I'm just going to use this tree right here. And your little glass balls, you choose the ones you want to use. You don't need to use very many. And we're going to use our E6000 glue, and I'm just going to put a little bit, about pea-sized, on the little glass ball, and then I'm just going to stick them in the tree where I'd like them. Just a few. I want you to do this to all your trees. Whatever you like. Continue on with your 3 trees and just let your trees dry until you're done, because you're going to be putting your trees on your letter O at the very end. All right. All right. Now it's time for us to start our glass glittering. I've gotten my tacky glue and I've put, I don't know, you could put about a 1/2 cup or so into like a Tupperware container or a Rubbermaid. And I've mixed in some water, hot water, little bits at a time, a couple teaspoons at a time, and I stir it up really well until I get a thinner consistency than the straight tacky glue. Whatever you're comfortable with, but you don't want it too thin, but you don't want it the thickness that it comes originally. So what we're going to do is, I've painted my O, the outside and inner edge is painted silver, and the top is a pale, pale pink. Hopefully you guys have gotten all of your letters done this way. I don't do the back, but like I said, if you want to, that's completely fine. It's up to you. So now what we're going to do is, I have a large plastic bowl. It's really flexible. This one's broken, but that's irrelevant because I use it so much. I get them at the Dollar Tree because of their corner. And I can, usually pour it back in the bag or pour it in the funnel when I put it back in a jar or what have you. So what I'm going to do is I've gotten a clean paintbrush, and I'm going to start on the outside edge of my letter. And I'm just going to put a decent amount of glue, and I'm not going to go onto the front. I'm just going to do the outside edge. I'm going to go up and around my eyes. There's a decent amount of glue on there because it's got to hold that glass glitter. And I'm going to do it in as many sections because I don't want it to dry. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to glass glitter it in my sections that's been painted. I'm going to do that all the way around, and then holding it, my thumb here and my first finger on the other side, I'm going to hold it around that, the outside edges, and I'm going to do the inside edge. And once that's all glass glittered, I'm just going to set it down and wait for it to dry. Oh, I don't know, 3 hours minimum. Then, once you have your letters all done and they're drying, I want you to grab your white glass glitter and your little Christmas balls. And we're going to glass glitter those as well. They're pretty quick. Have some clean paper to lay them down on. I'm going to do the same thing using my tacky glue. I'm going to go right up to the edge of where it's soldered. You can hold it where it's soldered. I'm going to go right up to that edge. I'm going to put a good amount of glue. You can do this on fruit. I love the white glass glitter. It looks great for holidays. And I'm just going to do the same thing with the white that I did on my letters. Obviously you want to make sure all of your silver glitter is out of your bowl and back in its container. Make sure it's coated really, really well because you want to cover all the glue for when you set it down to dry. So don't touch it. Just set it down on a piece of paper, set it down to dry really carefully. Don't press on it. Let it go where it wants to. And you leave those and your letters for at least 3 hours. And then we'll come back.